I am Kenyatta YaYa Browne. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi, where I went to high school, played basketball, had fun. Then I went to Jackson and went to Mississippi College, studied theater there, and then tried my hand in Miami, Florida. My mom moved here several years before I moved here, and with two daughters, I decided Miami was a really long way away from grandparents and free childcare. So I moved to Tuscaloosa, and I've been here since 2015. I have done Crowns, that was my debut. And then I did Love and Cheese Toast with Second Stage. And then most recently, Steel Magnolias, where I played Clairee. In Miami, I did plays. The most fun was Crowns again with Melba Moore, Tony Award nominated. I think she won. So that was great. And I did, several shows in Miami on stage. And then that's where I got into commercials and doing print work and some films. Oh, a huge difference. So live work is immediate gratification. You get an immediate response. You tell a joke and people laugh. And you get a chance to really become a character. You get to live that character for an extended amount of time. With commercial work, it's really quick and it's time. It means way more in commercial work than it does in theater because you have time to develop a character and learn the script. A lot of times with commercials, you get the script the night before and it's a lot of cut and do it again, cut and do it again. So you don't get a chance to really explore characters per se. You just have to kind of be on display for a little bit. So agent calls and says it's a TV show, they want to see you. So they send me what's called sides. Those sides it's dialogue or sometimes a monologue that is either in that particular TV show or something close to it because they don't want to disclose what's going to happen in the show. At that point, I have to learn it. Then I have to set up my in-house self-tape environment with background, with camera, with volume and lighting. And usually if I don't have someone to read for me, I have to pre-record the reading of the other person's stuff. I have to record it, I have to edit it. And then with my agent being in Atlanta, I have to then email it to her. She tells me if she likes it or not, and then she sends it to the casting directors and the producers. You can wait. I've gotten a job after waiting for 3 months. So at that point, I thought I didn't have the job. But I always tell people the job of an actor is to audition. That's really the job. There's nothing else that's guaranteed. So after I audition, I usually forget about it. So the majority of my auditions, if I do get a call back, I can't even remember that I did the audition. I have done voiceovers. I've done some voiceovers for Publix. I did some voiceovers for some local companies in Miami, regional companies, and I've gotten to do African soap operas when I was in Miami, which was very fun. You go into a small studio and you have, I can't even remember the name of the show because it was not in English, the name of it, but we had to read the basically American subtitle of the stuff in an African accent for African and American listeners and viewers for the show. So it was really, really fun. My agent asked me one time, why aren't you modeling? And I said, I'm sorry, have you seen my size chart? Have you seen? I'm shaped like SpongeBob. I'm cute, but I'm shaped like SpongeBob. I'm not sure print is my thing. And she said, no, 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 I think you can do it. And she submitted me for some stuff. I'm like, sure, anything that makes money. Okay. She submitted me for some stuff, and lo and behold, I end up on a Special K print commercial thing where they have me. I don't know why, because Special K is healthy, but I ended up on that. And then I just did the American Cancer Society print ad where they had me in sleeveless shirts. I was like, y'all are brave, but okay. So when you get a print ad, you send them your sizes so that they have all the clothes ready for you. You get a makeup artist, you get wardrobe that's all for you, and you have hair. You know, I need lots of people to do my hair, and that takes a long time. But you get kind of a team of people who are solely there to make you look really good. They feed you, and they feed you well. And you change clothes, you go out on set, and you just pose. Sometimes they give you direction, but most of the time they just want you to be yourself and have fun, and they play the songs you want to hear, and you kind of just hang out by yourself in your head, and they take pictures, and they come out halfway decent. My first bit of advice is to, one, learn the business, because if you don't learn the business part of it, people will take advantage of you. And a lot of learning of the business is just being around people who have that knowledge and asking a lot of questions. I feel like there were so many things I missed out on, and I could have learned easier and not the hard way had I spent more time around people who had done it professionally. I would say community theater on all fronts, because I got a lot of castings when I got to Miami because of what I've learned in theater. I did not take 2 or 3 takes for something in commercials because I've been taught through theater, you got to get it right the first time, or figure it out, make it look like you got it right. So doing a lot of the groundwork, learning about characters, learning all of those things, it just makes it so much easier when you try to do it professionally, because you're taking classes, you have someone to act with and train with you, someone to go over monologues, and even just filming yourself doing monologues and going back and looking at yourself, because we're all our biggest critics, and saying, does this look real? And then from there, getting a headshot. We get your headshot, do community theater, so you have a resume of something. Casting directors don't care if you got paid for it or not. They want to see that you've done the work. And then from there, you submit it to agencies. You send them your professional headshots, not stuff done in the bathroom, because I've seen that. Not selfies. You know, you need someone that, and photographers are important. Finding a photographer that can pull your personality out, make you look natural. All of those things make a huge difference in an agency seeing who you are through a picture, because ultimately the business is all about, especially with agencies, what you look like on a picture and what you look like on camera. So the photographer and the headshot is 80% of the battle. I did. That's the only way you survive. I tried to hang around people with agents. That's the first thing, is to just be in the life, because it's a completely different world. And in doing that, I was able to meet casting directors who recommended me to the agents that get a lot of work for the actors. And I started from the beginning. I went and got a headshot. And with that headshot, I was able to present that and do an audition for a couple of different agencies. And luckily, I was able to have my pick at who I thought was going to represent me the best. So the bad agents are the ones that charge you to represent you. Those are the bad ones. A good agent has a resume. They have relationships with casting directors. They can tell you what they've successfully done with their actors, the actors that have auditioned and made it. Good agents send out people who have done, they do training and they make that. Now you do have to pay a lot of times for the training. You don't pay the agent, you pay the professional, but you're investing in yourself. But the agents that charge you to represent you, they're fake and they waste your money because they typically don't work for you. The really good agents only get paid when you get paid. So, asking what their resume is, because ultimately they need you just as much as you need them. And the ones that check on you, that keep you on your toes, that ask, have you done training, that ask you need to update your headshots. Good agents care about their actors and their development and not just kind of there sitting on a shelf. They try to assist you in development and helping you to perfect your craft as much as possible. I like to go on SAG-AFTRA, because you get to see kind of the agents who invest in their business and invest in themselves. But you can Google agents. There are not many I've discovered in Alabama. Mine is in Atlanta, and they cover me. My contract is covered throughout the Southeast. So anything in North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Louisiana, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee. They have all of that covered for me. But just looking online and seeing what they've done and seeing what their process is to represent people, that can give you a lot of insight into their legitimacy, and just asking around, see who they represent, see who some of the actors are that they post on their pages, and you can reach out to the actors and see what they're doing for them. If you can just send your name and your email address and a selfie to an agency and they say, okay, we'll represent you, be very afraid. Because getting a good agent, they put you through some work. You got to go through an interview. They need to see that you can act. They need to see that you can pose if you want to be a model. They make you work for it if they're a good agent, because what they're ultimately trying to see is, can we book you? Can we get you work? Because if they can get you work, they get paid and you get paid. So if they think you're going to kind of sit on the shelf, then it's not worth your time or their time. Well, I don't know. Let me just say, I love theater the most. A lot of people ask me that. With doing Walmart, I've done Walmart commercials, I've done the Special K project and all of these big projects, and even big theater. But theater itself is kind of, for me, the foundation of everything. You really get to explore characters, you get to have more fun. Being on the set of any commercial, of any TV show, it is intense, it is chaotic, it is oftentimes on screen, it's not what it is behind the scenes. It is just not as family oriented as theater is. So when I moved to Tuscaloosa, in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to do theater. I'm not going to do theater. The nearest Equity Theater is in Birmingham, and who's going to drive there every night? And it's like, I'm not going to do theater. And then Crowns came. I was like, I've done this show before. Why would I shouldn't. Okay, yeah. Okay, you should. Okay, yeah. And it's just been, theater is really the foundation of acting. Most people who make it their career in acting start with theater, or if they don't start, usually their agents have them do theater. Most really good actors in LA, their agents have made them do local theater shows, because that's when you sharpen your skills. You sharpen the iron, absolutely, in theater. So if I have to choose, I would much rather do theater all day long, because you just, the beauty of acting is being able to kind of dip yourself into another character almost and lose who you are for, 2 months almost, and you get to just be someone else. And that's really the fun part of telling stories, is you get to find out what that character actually thinks about and all of those things. And you don't get to do that with print or commercials, or really, well, there are some crazy actors who do it in film and they kind of stay that way, but for the most part, it's kind of on and off, and you don't get to kind of dip yourself into a character the way you do in theater. So it's my love. It is absolutely a business. And even in theater, when you do it professionally, it is a business. Being on time, and I've seen I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of learning your script. And knowing where you're supposed to be on stage, and knowing where you're supposed to be on set, and all of those fundamental things that an actor should learn means money in the industry and in the business. So when you do it and you're getting paid for it, you don't have time to not learn scripts. That you can be fired, So absolutely, just learning just the basics of what you're supposed to be, and in community theater is the best way to do it. Because once you become disciplined, agents love you at that point, because you are not spoiled, you are not just pretty, you are not just talented, you have respect for the craft, you have respect for the stage, you have respect for everyone around you, from the camera person to the light to the producers to everyone, and learning what they do, really gives you an upper hand in getting cast a lot of times. I've been cast a few times, and I saw the person's audition before me, and they were better. They were better than me, and I'll admit that any day. That especially the one I'm thinking about was much better than me, but there was no respect or discipline. And I got the job because the respect for everyone and the discipline, and understanding being on time, understanding being willing to work late to get the job done, and understanding that every hour you're there is costing someone some money. It's a huge deal. So I learned it in theater. I learned it all in theater. Thank you. Thank you for having me.